Dictionary detoxifies the pineapples. My each guess is a magic for just one night.
Oh, and it's another night.
Mm-hmm.
It's another night.
It's another night.
Yeah.
Dark and stormy and racing.
I like it dark and stormy.
I bet you do.
It's raining, isn't it?
And I can stand out on me balcony and look at all the schooners. And moan and wail like a waiting bride.
Oh, God.
Oh man! Oh,
I said, I said something like that the other night. Ball storm. Somebody said something. Oh, no, that was on Friday night. Oh, I typed that in. I don't know if you saw that or not.
yes, that was
On Friday Night Live, yeah. And Ballstorm was saying something about pineapple, and I was like, no. The new word is schooner. And I was like, oh, no, wait a minute. No, that gets it started. That's not a safe word. Never mind.
Pineapple juice finishes it. You know, that's just how it is.
Would you like to see my mast?
People are still streaming in there, Cynthia. It's all good. It's all good because
is something happening?
I don't know.
Is there?
I mean, there's always something happening. Hey, Boosh.
Oh.
Hey, what's up, Boosh?
Yeah, there's always stuff happening. I mean, here's the thing.
I mentioned tonight on my live last night too, so I don't know.
Oh.
I mean, I was with Nick for a little while, about an hour before this got started.
Fun.
Nick Ricada, really?
No, Starro.
Nick Starro.
Oh.
Not that one.
I was like, damn, hanging out with the big boys. I see how you are.
He's a big
I wish I
man.
had the clout to hang with some of the big wigs there, but I don't.
Audio copy.
It comes with problems. It comes with problems.
Yeah, I'm content in my own little corner of YouTube.
Yes. Yeah. I'm always happy here.
Hey, did you say dime bags? What?
What? Did I?
Huh?
What? No.
Did I say that out loud?
I was counting my change out. That's what it was.
Oh man!
Oh, Volsmar and I watched
cards.
Casino last night, and it was
Nice.
yeah,
there you
I'd
go.
seen it years ago, and then he hadn't seen it, so I was like, that's what happens when you trust a hoe.
Yeah.
$1 million. You just
Well, I played Whack-A-Hoe last night.
do.
I totally did. It was awesome. It was winning. Like I felt like Charlie Sheen winning. I just totally felt like that because it was almost 2 hours of nonstop car crashes,
Ooh, there you go.
Huh.
bus crashes.
Oh,
I had to make it I had to
Oh.
make it members only after I finished because it was just like so much accidents and crashes and motorcyclists like flipping, and
Yeah.
it was like, ooh, yeah.
Like, yeah, that's not getting monetized.
No, it actually got copyright stricken or whatever they call it, where it's like, you can't monetize this. I was like, don't worry, I didn't.
Oh, you got one? Oh, yeah. I got a copyright notice
You did?
for guess what?
What?
But
A Christmas Carol.
Oh my god!
I thought it was public domain.
At this point, yeah.
Well, apparently because some other numbnut has done the story, they did it because of the title of the first stave of Marley's Ghost. It's in the fucking book.
Right.
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
YouTube's
one where I would
retarded.
I would dispute that. Like,
Yeah, I
the
would
story's
dispute
public
that.
domain.
yeah. Usually I
Well,
just
no. Well, they
said
they sent me the note. Well, here's the thing: they sent me the
about-
notice, and then they're like, "Oh, but we're not going to do anything about it." Well, then why even fucking bother?
I hate
Well,
those.
always dispute it because what'll happen is if they don't release it, they'll get the monetization for it. They'll get the money for it.
Oh.
like any sort of watch hour, all that kind of stuff. So you always dispute those. Like, oh, we're not going to do anything. Okay, well, I'll just put a dispute in there, and they'll usually release it.
YouTube's like the
Make
weirdest
sure that things.
college course I've ever taken.
I've
It's
never had
so
any luck
stupid.
getting anything past YouTube. It's like I've never won a single dispute that I've ever had with them. And part of the reason why I stopped doing Edge of Reality was just because every single stream that I would do would get struck or get a notice or something like that. And I'm like, I just got tired of it.
Well, I find I usually monetize if I know I'm going to be doing like the debates, or not the debates, but the DNC.
Mhm.
I made that one where I wasn't going to get any sort of ad revenue off of it. I turned on the monetization afterwards, and it immediately kicked off a copyright on there.
Yeah.
And I immediately disputed it. Within like 2 hours, that they removed it.
Huh.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, you little, because it puts all those funds into escrow, like bastards.
Okay.
Like not that I made any money off of it or anything. I mean, it was only like 200 or 300 people that watched it, but
Yeah.
still,
Yeah.
asshole. Like, no, you're not getting away with this. This is public domain. I've gotten stuff from CNN, all kinds of stuff. Just like they're just like, do you get what? No, it's public domain. Okay.
Fascinating.
I usually send them penis pics too at the same time.
They like that,
Oh,
don't they?
yeah.
They're like, oh,
They
this is a
do.
high class guy. We need to back off. Obviously.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, especially whenever they see that large black thing just sort of flop out, they're just like,
He's a
okay,
snake
okay.
charmer. He dances with the devil.
Well, you know, because they don't, they're all worried. You know, it's all about image. You know, it's like
Ooh.
I just tell them, you know, I was born a poor black child. All I do.
God.
Hi, hello.
All right.
Oh, little Kiki.
He's
this is Blackberry.
playing.
Playing with his blocked kitty.
It's black kitty. Yes. It's a black kitty.
Weeks passed. Prosecutor John Frolic relinquished the lead prosecutor chair to the 30-something woman dressed in this stretchy business suit. They jacked up, and the tension in the courtroom diminished considerably. Like the state, the defense table rearranged with Josephine Roy, substituting for her exhausted husband, otherwise exhausted. Amanda, she felt defeated. She'd reasoned that if they got this part, her life is over anyway, so why pay attention? Yes, he could not deny Josephine's compassion, but between life in prison without parole or death row, what could possibly be worse? Each option ended with her body. Even the prison grounds, the pine blocks. Though they were the same thing. Amanda left it to her lawyers who seemed to care more than her. Josephine explained that the state must list all statutory aggravators they wish to pursue. The penalty phase constrained the state to evidence supported the listed statutes, and the state needed only one. When Josephine explained the prosecutors only needed 8 of 12 juror votes, she knew the game had been rigged. Lord, love, jealous.
Is that pretty bad? That sounds
Yeah.
creepy.
Yeah. Well, it's
Creepy.
breaking up.
Yeah.
Okay, seriously, Shizzy, if you're going to use that voice, you have got to do the Law and Order opening. In the criminal justice system, the people are represented by two separate yet equally important groups.
Well, so Josephine explained that the state must list all statutory aggravators they wish to pursue, that the penalty phase constrained the state to evidence supporting the listed statutes, and the state only needed one. Josephine explained the prosecutors needed 8 of 12 jurors. She knew the game had been rigged. Florida, they loved death. Is that better?
Yeah.
Well, the dice droned on and on in front of the jury. It seemed the mechanical presentation of each new prosecutor drew less ire from the defense table. The especially heinous, atrocious, and cruel aggravator. Yeah. Automatic, it seemed to Amanda. What murder could possibly not be those things? The cold, calculating, premeditated aggravator. CCP. The way the prosecutor sounded the mere fact of decision making make this one another automatic. Yep. Based on the facts they attributed to the killer, that person not being her, she had no insight. The only dust-up seemed to come from the state wanting to read into the record a bunch of letters. Dirty letters. Josephine objected. The two sides argued back and forth. It was a slap fight. Judge Fluff carefully examined each line from the correspondence, striking out all the inflammatory stuff. A few brief comments were allowed. Josephine, well, she seemed so satisfied. What happened to Judge Fluff? The whole thing seemed confusing. Amanda, nothing.
Did your audio cut out? Because I didn't hear anything.
It went, yeah.
You didn't hear me?
It went out.
At the very end, you like
the
cut
nothing
off.
to add kind of got bloop.
Yeah.
It went away.
I was like, did I mess this up?
It went into the ethos. Far away.
I spit it out and it went away.
Oh, dear.
Well, that's what you get for spitting.
Just swallowed the whole damn thing.
Oh, dear Lord. Oh, dear Lord. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph.
Oh, boy. That's going to be a rough one there. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, how's that go?
You told some of the biggest lies that I've ever heard of in my whole life.
Dad?
Dad, is that you?
I think I hear Pops calling. The check is in the mail, old man. Can't do shit anymore, Jesus.
Getting copyright strikes from heaven.
Suddenly, Kaiser's channel just got deleted.
Oh,
What happened? Where did Kaiser go?
Ruh-roh. All right. Oh, where are we at here? Okay. And I have no idea who's speaking in half of this, so I'm just going to wing it. Okay.
Yeah.
The mitigators. Compassion exuded from Josephine Roy, filled the courtroom. After the crushing defeat at the state presentation, Amanda had all but given up. But Josephine, she laid out Amanda's story for the world to see. She wasn't a monster. She had a life and had value. Josephine knew Amanda Smallwood and believed her case. When the state filed its notice seeking the death penalty early in the case, the Roy firm hired a top-notch defense mitigation expert. They did not come cheap. And between their fee and the expert witness, Amanda's finances disappeared. They tasked the mitigation witness to fully develop Amanda's biography. The expert located her father's hospice nurse, Mrs. Aletha Maria Santos. That's a mouthful. She took the stand first. State your full name for the record. Mrs. Aretha Santos.
Taco kisses, taco kisses.
Yeah, that was you.
No, I cannot work Friday.
No.
I went to get my feet scraped.
It's all them sandals. Oh, you know.
oh dear.
How do you know my client, Miss Amanda Smallwood? She was Miss Smallwood at the time. Her maiden name was Carrie. Anyways, the Carey family hired me as hospice nurse to check in on Mr. Carey, Amanda's father, near the end. And how old was Amanda Carey, now Smallwood, at the time? Let's see. She was somewhere around middle school, but I can't be exact, but it was around there.
Okay, and what about Amanda's mother, Ann?
Oh, yeah, she was there. I mean, most of the time she paid the bills, but, got me my green card. But I was mostly for Mr. Carey's army retirement. But anyways, she was around.
When you say she was around, do you mean she cared for Mr. Carey?
No, I wouldn't say that. She was, pretty distant. I came to learn pretty much fell on Amanda to care for Mr. Carey.
And what kind of care was needed?
Oh, lots of care. I mean, it pretty much involved daily care. Amanda went to school, sure, but I mean, pretty much every minute outside of school, she was at home with her dad. No, Mr. Peter, no. We don't limit pledge.
That's all I keep hearing in my head. Is there... No.
No, I know work Friday.
Sorry.
Somewhere out there's some Hispanic lady that is like, I'm going to kick his ass. I don't know who this pineapple is, but he's bastard. Anywho. All right.
And how long did this last?
Oh, for a long time, several years, Mr. Carey was a tough old guy. He hung on. A lot of that would be due to Amanda's care. Most folks that age or condition pretty much die quickly because there's no one to look after them. But Mr. Carey had Amanda, and he had a long. He held on to life a lot longer because of that.
And when did he pass?
I think when Amanda was about 16, just after her quinceañera. It was very hard on her. I think she missed a lot social-wise at school. Of course, her mother all but checked out. I cannot help but think that Amanda raised herself after that, because she never complained. I mean, she loved her dad.
Amanda wept. She longed for her daddy.
Daddy! Daddy!
Yeah. Oh, Lord. Her dad, Ryan Carey, served honorably in the United States Army. He retired at the rank of Sergeant First Class when he met his wife, Anne. He immediately went to work supporting his new bride, moving occasionally to find a better paycheck. Damn it, Fallstorm.
I know. Yeah.
No, Mr. Kaiser, that not go there. That is the wrong hole.
No.
That is where the taco comes out, not goes in.
That pineapple's going in, goddammit.
Me not like it.
You pay extra?
Oh, for that I charge with credit card.
You have some lemon pledge to put on it?
Oh, that explains the citrus.
Oh, that's just smell. Oh.
Ew.
But it burns so
Close
good.
caption for the reality impaired.
Best thing I ever had.
All right, anyway. Meanwhile, back at the ranch. A long life toiling away, one blue-collar employer to another. Just another cog in the system. But he cared. His family mattered. When he met Anne, Ryan thought he'd hit the lottery. They expected many children, but they struggled and miscarried several times. Each time they named the baby and gave him, the unborn infant, a little funeral. Manny, Elizabeth, Aletha, the siblings she never knew. Amanda came like a miracle late in life. By that time, Ryan Carey neared retirement. He devoted himself to the Knights of Columbus,
Attaining his 4th degree, she would spy on him admiring his feathered uniform and sword before Mass. Always there, always dependable. Ryan Carey just made it to retirement when the illness struck. Amanda remembered his years of decline. He apologized to Amanda for being such a burden, but her toil honored her father. When the end came, the flag-draped coffin adorned the front of the half-full church. The Knights sent in their honor guard, minus Dad. The Army also sent a team, and each saluted the man's passing. A few memories could clear that morning fog. Disposing of the old shoes, the musty clothes, the desk drawer with Daddy's reading glasses, a box of Army ribbons, and his trusty K-bar. Was it in Idaho? Amanda thanked God that Daddy did not have to see his princess ripped apart by the criminal justice system. It would have destroyed him. Dr. Martin Harriman took the stand. The spotlight turned again to Amanda. No prior criminal history, no drug use. Were those really things that earned her merit? It seemed that to Amanda that such a life of choices should be expected. Dr. Harriman recounted that she earned her certified nursing assistant designation at community college, graduating in top 10% of her class. Testing revealed Amanda had an extraordinarily high IQ, causing questions about why she did not go further in her academic career. She devoted herself to marriage, maintaining a home for 6 years, childless. Pressures from bad investments and boredom caused Mrs. Smallwood taking a job at a hospital where her record exhibited dependability and a strong work ethic. This is sad, I'm telling you.
Yeah. I'm almost in tears.
It
could be the onions.
A hug. Damn.
Could be the onions.
Amanda listened and felt that she was applying for a job she couldn't get. But that was not the purpose of Dr. Harriman's presentation. The psychological stuff embarrassed her. The doctor explained analytically. Amanda exhibits a deep psychological tendency towards pleasing others. She tests at the top 10% of females in submissiveness.
Yeah,
That's right. That's right. Top 10. Get on your knees, woman.
Oh, dear
got an
Lord.
A in my class.
She's a 10 in my class. She may look like a 1, but damn.
Dear God.
Best lab partner I ever had.
She fails to appreciate her situation fully, and even now exhibits some denial of her situation. She tends to believe that others would take responsibility for her fate and refuses to accept responsibility for the consequences of her actions. She expresses a feeling of disempowerment and exhibits insufficient introspection of her own needs. She looks to others for things that she should be working on internally, hoping their actions will result in change, even in those that were under the control or under her control and responsibility. Was that really her? Sorry, little something. Dr. Harriman recounted how her marriage descended into one of neglect. Such neglect, combined with her complete faithfulness, could only have resulted in a severe response of betrayal when she found out of her husband's dalliance. She should have jumped up and screamed at the testimony. That's what you would do, right? But you were not there. Everyone reacts differently in different situations. Perhaps the jury saw Amanda's passivity as acceptance. Perhaps her fate betrayed her. Her face betrayed her, sorry. When Dr. Harriman laid out his explanation, a humorous thought tickled Amanda. She thought to suppress any outward expression, thinking it inappropriate. Such things are unknowable. All that can be said is that the doctor concluded his presentation with a downer opinion. Amanda Smallwood was an excellent candidate for life in prison. The next defense mitigation witness surprised Amanda, a jail employee.
State your name for the record.
Corporal Dinky Amalika Terrell. I don't know if that's...
Well, she is sounds like a very large black woman.
Oh, I didn't know it was a female. Sorry, my bad. We just change that then. Okay, we'll just go. We'll just go. We'll just go into Jersey.
What was Amanda's behavior been in jail?
Yeah, exemplary. I'd say if anyone else instead was like Amanda Smallwood, we wouldn't have a jail. Prosecutor John stood up. Okay, hold on. I have two brain of these locked and loaded. I have to figure up a third one.
Let's see. He probably sounds like Gomer. Probably sounds like Gomer.
Yeah. Oh God, I gotta remember how to do that one.
Objection, relevance. Whether the defendant has behaved herself or in humble jail, that is just no consequence of her qualification for the death penalty.
The judge ignored the speaking objection in front of the jury, as well as the fact that his second chair was handling the penalty phase. Such rules seemed to be the one way before Judge Fluff. Defense! I already had Judge Fluff figured out as Elmo, but you know. Josephine addressed the court. Oh God, which voice did I have loaded for her? Oh, damn it. Your Honor, under the Supreme Court case, Skipper versus South Carolina, Amanda's exemplary behavior in jail is proper mitigation and must be considered by the jury. Judge Fluff scratched his chin. Overruled. You may proceed, Madam Defense Attorney. Phil fell backwards, having to catch himself. Judge Fluff overruled a state objection. Amazing. Josephine continued. Corporal Tyrell, let me direct your attention to the jail records. Do you have them in front of you? Yes, ma'am. Good God, I can't.
I kind of like that combo. Yeah. That was a good combo of everything.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Next on
Did
Jersey
Amanda
Housewives.
contribute to the functioning of the
Elmo.
jail? Yes, I remember it was class day. Okay,
Wheels in the pots.
Casa done sprained his uvula.
Just put the name of who is speaking into this.
We just for you. Yes, I remember it clear as day. We were in the pod, and Miss Amanda came up to me and said, "Why is that no one in here can read? You see, library cart would go by. Amanda would trade the book she read from the other day for a new one. Anyways, she asked one of her fellow inmates why they had not taken out a book. I guess after that, she took it upon herself to ask around. She found about half our ladies, they couldn't read because they're stupid."
And what happened after that? Josephine prodded the witness to continue.
Well, she asked if she could set up a regular classes in the pod. We got it approved. The local Catholic diocese stepped up and provided some learning materials. She helped a bunch of our ladies when they was inside. Deep inside.
Oh, Lord. As someone who works every day in the environment, Corporal, is illiteracy a big problem in the criminal justice system?
Oh, yeah. There's a bunch of stupid asses in there. An estimated 60% of them dumbasses are illiterate.
Yeah.
She stepped up. She should be proud.
Amanda shrugged. It seemed so obvious. Most of the women in her pod were illiterate and low functioning. She saw the need and filled it, but the classification officer made it out to be some kind of heroic endeavor. Amanda was glad to see her partner in the endeavor, Corporal Tyrell, though, as I thought so highly of her. She gave a slight wave to her as she left, and the corporal smiled back. Josephine Roy took back the podium. Your Honor, we would like to present a letter from Amanda's mother and Carrie. We'll read it from the podium if you don't mind. Without objection.
We move into evidence exhibit D, the letter from Ann Curry to the court dated 2 weeks ago. Admitted, please proceed. Amanda's mother writes, quote, being that I am Seattle, I think it's supposed to be I'm in Seattle, but it says I am Seattle.
Well,
she is Seattle. See, she's a large woman.
Yeah. I'm so sorry that I cannot come to present this letter to you personally. I know that the Honorable Judge Fluff will find compassion in his heart to spare Amanda the worst. I know that Amanda was not taught to be this way. She was raised in a loving home. I just don't know what happened. Please show mercy on my only daughter. Amanda bawled uncontrollably. Your Honor, a brief recess? Let's do 10 minutes. All rise. The bailiffs whisked Amanda out of the courtroom. When the presentation resumed, the defense table had one empty chair. She chose to stay away for the rest of the defense mitigation case.
Oh, that mama. Oh, that mama.
Mama needs a slapping. She needs a slapping.
I'm glad she's fictional, because
I take offense to that, Valsdor. Damn it.
I think Valsdor
I feel personally attacked over here because I have dyslexia. Excuse me, whatever. I think I did pretty well.
I take no offense because that's quite a compliment. At least I'm illiterate. I got something ahead of everybody else.
I'm gonna have to think about that for a minute, but I think that's insulting. I don't know. Ain't no gas.
sorry. I'm just thinking about the troll. The trolling on the chat. That's so good. So fun.
I love it. I love the trolling on the chat.
Yeah. He is like amazing at trolling.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, he is. He is.
I have a swing blade. Mustard.
French fried taters.
Oh gosh. Let's see. The sentence. The jury deliberated into the next day. They'd reached a verdict in the penalty phase. Now came the decision between life in prison, without parole, or death. Amanda looked around the courtroom. The bailiffs did not scold her for gazing backwards. Maybe she finally earned a look around. She saw the media. Oh, surprise!
Okay.
She saw the media filling the wood benches behind her. Clicks and scribbles recorded her every expression. Next to her stood Josephine Roy, her companion, her confidant, her friend. At the end of their table stood Phil Roy, blue eyes raging with intensity, and his Puerto Rican good looks cutting through the government courtroom. There across the aisle stood the lead prosecutor, Richard Johns. A smug look of satisfaction with Amanda's fate radiated towards the cameras. Next to him, at the prosecutor's table, in front of a cardboard file box blocking the view forward, was a 30-something female lawyer, whose name she never caught. All rise for the jury, Bailiff called. The judge's Wolverine enforcer dripped with contempt for her defense lawyer. Judge Fluff entered wearing his black robe and nothing else. That cloak of honor seemed ill-fitting and unworthy wrapping the man she witnessed the past few weeks. Then came the jury, 12 collected strangers, vetted for bias, but selected for incompetence. Missing from the group was juror 27, Selenia Johansson, the woman Josephine named the life giver. Her absence signaled doom. In the matter of State versus Amanda Smallwood, we, the jury, find in a vote of 8-4 as follows. Count 1, first-degree murder, victim Butch Smallwood.
The sentence will be death. Count 2. First-degree murder. Victim Erica Palm, the hooker. The sentence will be death. So say we, the jury.
Part 3.
When
The
my time
ordeal.
comes, I want that lady to read my death
As long as she does it with the schooner.
Yeah.
Schooner.
Let me
Right.
get the schooner in there.
Oh dear.
Oh, yes.
The prison. The transport van containing Florida's infamous jealousy killer rolled through the scrub of Florida's northern interior. Heat beat down in the transporter's rooftop from an oppressive subtropical sun. Oblivious to the vehicle's passage or its cargo, Floridians soaked nearby in a cool freshwater spring that bathed the interior with sweet life-giving water. Once out of Palatka. Is that right?
Yeah.
Palatka?
I think so.
Palatka?
Yeah.
Yep.
Sounds
Once
Polish.
Yeah. Once out of Pancake and interlockers. Fucking whatever. That's fine. Interlocking. The van veered north towards Florida State Prison and Death Row. State Road 301 avoided cities, and the driver seemed keen on taking the long back way. Perhaps the driver wanted more face time.
Creepy.
I'm JB. The driver voiced over, and the road and engine noise rattling the metal van interior. They call me Tater Salad. But my real name is Jerome Brown. Okay. The chick. All right. She stared at the bars surrounding her and separating her from the middle-aged men trying to strike up a conversation.
Ew.
Amanda was the only female on Florida's death row. Florida's system, in a spasm of liberal equity, recently integrated men and women. The state settled the lawsuit by Ed Kaufman, a.k.a. Lillian Kaufman, a current resident of death row. Because there were 350 men and only one woman, it made economic sense to consolidate. The conservatives were happy at the savings, and the liberals were happy at the equity. The van rumbled into the gates of Florida State Prison, located near Rayford, Florida. Rayford. There really was only one prison in Florida. The rest of the system, the Department of Corrections, and euphemistically dubbed correctional institutions, the difference mattered. They figured that anyone going to death row should not be given the hope that any correction would take place there. Death row was strictly vengeance. Amanda looked upon the prison concertina wire. She lived in protected suburbia. She had a husband, as flawed as he was. Sure, Butch grew bored of her body after a few rough encounters. Apparently rode hard and put away wet.
Oh dear.
Oh my.
And maybe he
Oh,
would rather
dear.
have been the one to have been dominated.
Oh.
But he provided. She had been too young. For that, she would be confident. She could be confident. She had agreed not to question his decision. She let him take the lead. A good wife did that, right? She looked away from the secrecy of his life and gave Butch a beautiful home. Where had she gone wrong? The petty considerations of her former life seemed rather incongruent with her current situation. Led by a uniformed guard on either side, Amanda, or prisoner with Departments of Corrections number 161916, passed the sparest of one-person cells. Yeah. The rows lined up along one side of a narrow corridor. Peeling paint coated a wall on the opposite side. As she passed, each prisoner stood, Some observed silently as the fresh inmate appeared. Others screamed and rattled the bars, trapping them in their cells. Others masturbated. I smell you, Clarice.
Skeet, skeet.
Oblivion.
Oh, it got on my face. Oh.
Well, it was in the movie.
What? Like, what movie was that? I know.
That was
Oh, I need to watch it again. I missed that part. I completely.
Oh yeah, whenever she was whenever Clarice was
in the basket. But everybody forgets
whenever
that
she was
part.
going to meet Hannibal, they were like,
I think that's where he got it from.
yeah, I think so.
Amanda felt many penetrating and threatening gazes. In the center of the cell stood an enormous, naked, stringy-haired prisoner.
Ew.
Although weighing in at 300 pounds and standing over 6 foot in height, Ed Lillian Kaufman demanded the pronoun she. That's a big girl.
I see where this one's going.
What was it Mike Tyson said? Well, never mind, I won't say that. Amanda thought that everything about the body trumpeted male. A man-beast. It looked directly at Amanda. A grin developed on the man-beast's face. It spoke. Mine. Mm-hmm.
I need an adult.
Yeah, you ain't gonna shit right for a month. She remembered that a death row inmate won his or her lawsuit and gained Amanda the privilege of waiting her time in a co-ed death row. Could this be the one? Being the only woman meant nothing to the court. Legal principles clashed with the cold, hard reality of a tiny 5-foot blonde in the company of wolves. Amanda shivered as she passed. She said a silent prayer for thanks for single rooms on death row. The guards opened a steel door, revealing another row of cells. The connecting cell block seemed rather old and empty compared to the raucous wings she had just traversed. High above, a caged window slit allowed a tiny ray of sunlight to enter. Although she counted 4 cells on the row, only one inmate resided there. The others appeared empty. Her new neighbor, a bald, middle-aged man with intense green eyes, lay motionless on his cot, watching her as she passed. His outfit looked tidy, with the orange-issued cotton top tucked smartly into the matching orange pants. The bald inmate clutched a black Bible, remaining reclined and silent. "Open," one of the guards shouted, and a buzz preceded a loud grinding of metal on metal. All 4 cell doors opened at once, and she was directed into cell 4. Cell A4 contained a stainless steel sink and toilet, a tiny desk next to a springy cot. She stepped in. Now it contained number 161916. "Close." The buzz and the noise repeated, this time ending with a clank of imprisonment. The guards marched off without further word.
There he is.
Well, speaking of illiterate and low functioning, I have arrived.
Just in time. Just in time. You get to read.
Yay. The neighbor. The bald man in the next cell over remained quiet for several days. She considered initiating contact. The social rules of this hell were beyond any of her experience. She resolved to remain silent until spoken to.
As she should.
As she should.
That's right. Know your place.
Know your place, woman.
Don't make the man beast come after you.
That's right. You might not like what happens when man beast shows up.
I'm gonna make you love me.
If it'll make you feel better, I'll pull your hair during it. God shuffled by, conducting bed checks at random intervals. Open! The words always preceded the entry. Each god became familiar, and they always came in twos.
Ew.
I'm sure they did.
Jeez. Sounds really dirty. It's just like, open. They came in twos. Great.
Cool.
See, that's what threw everybody off. It's all the little hidden innuendos. This time it was Cruz and Dickerson. Officer Otis Cruz seemed like a very professional, by the book kind of guy. Officer Jeremiah Dickerson seemed like the oldest of the gods and perhaps the kindest. His dark chocolate skin and gentle brown eyes communicated a compassion and understanding she could not perceive from the other uniforms. Close that door! After several days, Amanda wondered if the bald man in the next cell could speak at all. But then, it happened.
How's it going?
A simple enough greeting.
My name is Harrison. Harrison Ford.
The soft voice struck a conversational tone that brightened the claustrophobic cell.
Amanda Smallwood.
Nice to
make your acquaintance. And you?
And that was it. Despite her renewed attempts, the conversation ended for the day. She yearned for more talk, even if it was from a bald death row murderer. The next day, when the gods could not listen, the soft voice of Harrison drifted into her ears.
You ever heard me?
No, should I have?
They call me the eunuch.
The name aroused a suspicion about her companion of the cell block. She figured the question called for directness, as Harrison might not speak again.
Are you the guy who sued to get the men and women together?
She heard a gentle laugh, a sound that had become unfamiliar.
Nah, that was the thing in the last cell before you came into our wing. The man beast? That captures it pretty well.
Oh. She let the conversation remain open, but Harrison chose to withdraw. The routine ground on, and Amanda began to anticipate, even look forward to hearing from the bald man in the next cell. Excuse me. She would catch his green eyes as she passed by a cell when entering or exiting her chamber. Harrison, or the eunuch, seemed to wait for times when the gods were clear. Prisoner number 161916 could not perceive the rhythms of the place as well as Harrison. She considered his judgment on such things and had been gained with experience, so she let him lead. Harrison spoke to her again the next day.
I figured I was about right for that nickname.
Amanda could not reconcile the soft, almost feminine voice with that of a murderer. Perhaps he was innocent also.
What? The eunuch, you mean? Yes.
A long pause.
It seems like you were at the center of everything when you were young, but I guess people forget. They threw me here and they've been dancing around my feet ever since.
Long breaks punctuated the conversation. Just what effect would endless time have on personal dialogue? She shivered.
How long have you been in?
Amanda could not comprehend rotting in this place for her lifetime.
A while.
She attempted to keep the dialogue alive, but the only responses heard were that of the depressing noises of prison life. Monotonous days passed before Harrison spoke again.
My lawyer said I'm almost finished.
Her neighbor's meaning took time to resolve in her mind. Then Kern added,
Watch out for Officer Tully. We call him the Black Badge. A real sadist. He does the warden's bidding when the dirty work must be done.
She knew Tully, but nothing about him stood out. The warning remained.
The warden. Inside Florida State Prison, Amanda Smallwood read the white letters engraved in the blue plastic sign above the office door. Warden's office, bound in the front, guided by 2 guards. Amanda entered, seated herself in a single chair placed in the middle of the space. The office seemed huge, gigantic, enormous. She could fit 10 of herself in just this one room. She suspected that the door at the back led to additional space. This wrong. Her heart ached to explore that back door.
The warden and the night guards.
A man stepped out. He was wearing a crisp uniform of black and white. Metallic adornments broadcast his authority.
It's a maid's uniform.
You may leave us. Escorts exit, leaving her alone and shackled. Her prior life, the windowless government office would have repulsed her. Cheap wood paneling screamed for redecoration. But legislators placed zero importance on redecorating that Florida State Prison, even if it was for a high-paid person like the warden. Warden Kirk Frank. Well, as she came to learn his full name, had brought his personal items to brighten his workplace. An orange Florida Gators football helmet displayed like a trophy on a side table. A souvenir from Kurt's days on teams decades past. Sucker. A wall of memorabilia. Boxes stuffed with plaques. Decorative efforts were a complete failure. A rickety drinking cart placed in one corner probably helped Kurt window away his days in this lonely hole. My name is Kurt Frank. You should call me Warden. Nice to meet you, Warden. For some reason, the manners humored her captor. She remained quiet. I've been looking into your file. Quite an unusual case, number 161916. Oh, anyway. The warden maneuvered his mouse, executing several clicks. Yes, your psychological profile. Like most killers, you rank in the top 1% of submissive females.
Oh, really?
Not a trait we regularly find in our little motel. Do you leave the light on? Looking away from the screen, Warden Frank remarked, an unusually young and beautiful prisoner at that. Wow, wow. Hey,
I like it when they lie quiet like that.
It's better if you don't struggle.
Well, this here response drew out another laugh. I do not flatter idly. Here. Frank reached into his drawer and retrieved a hand mirror. He stood in position of glass so she could see her face reflection. She did not recognize the image. Her cheeks.
She likes watching herself. Okay, got it. Hey, we all have our thing. We all have our thing.
Broken.
We broke Yamaha. We broke it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, my eyes. Oh. I'm crying over here. Oh.
Her cheeks were colorless and gaunt. Her long blonde hair felt tangled upon her drooping shoulders. Her youthful complexion fought to sustain itself in the face of her ordeal. A painful lump rose in her throat, but a hand touching her neck interrupted the emotion. You are truly a stunning inmate.
Oh my God.
Politeness overcoming self-loathing. The man loomed over her for a moment. Her little heart fluttered. She could not precisely identify the feeling. Fear. But in one, he moved away and back to his desk. He placed the mirror into a drawer, removed something else, concealing it in his hand. You powerful man!
Don't worry, the swelling will go down.
Will you be a good prisoner, number 161916? Always, I'll always record that kindness. He slipped Amanda a tiny bit of perfume soap. Well, she greedily grabbed it, concealing the contraband in her orange clothes. Soon the door closed behind number 161916. She's perfect. Yo, we're going to get some of that.
I think I've seen this movie.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I'm uncomfortable.
We can make it a lot more uncomfortable, boy.
Is off the wall.
Don't worry. That there's a reason why I gave you that perfume soap. I want it to smell nice when I come to visit.
You smell real good, girl.
Make sure
Why don't you go sit in the corner
and watch?
That's what-
The silence of the Muppets.
I'm gonna sit in the corner, terrified.
Elmo never seen anything like this.
Elmo was thinking he was next.
In all his years on the street, Elmo had never been so terrified in his life.
Oh, the things you see in prison.
It's not what you see in prison, it's what you don't see that should worry you a little more.
Elmo will know next time before he grabs that bag of chips off the counter.
Death row for you, Elmo. You talking about you are my new hand puppet.
Oh, God damn it, not again.
Love you.
It's the burning pop for you, Elmo.
Oh, Lordy.
Oh, my
Okay, I suppose I should do something with this.
Elmo is one dirty sock.
Yeah.
Oh, you have no idea. He's so dirty.
It's so dirty. Mm.
Don't wash him. It's
Why
the
is the
only thing
inside of this
holding him
Muppet
together.
so damn crusty? Jeez.
Over the chat, Bush said Elmo decided to stop doing smack and get his life together.
Scared
yes.
straight can work.
Crack is whack, kids.
That was the worst field trip Elmo had ever been on.
Elmo goes to death row.
I thought this bus was going to the Alamo. Wait a minute.
Oh my god.
I thought we were going to visit Florida State University, not Florida State Prison.
I even brought my pom poms. What the hell?
The conversation. All right. Harrison Kern intrigued her, and she needed to think about something other than the cold walls. What was his story? Those things were not asked between prisoners. Questions like that were a good way to get shanked.
Oh, no.
She's looking to get shanked, maybe.
Watch your back! Is she about to get shanked by the warden, yo? Daggone.
Wait till the man beast comes along.
The single cells of death row seemed to offer protection from such things, but somehow the predators found a way to catch their prey. She longed for conversation, but Harrison did not give it up easily. She thought carefully about how to lure more from him. The eunuch. She selected a time when the guards passed by.
You don't seem like the mitoring type.
She quipped. This was the first time she initiated the chat and hoped not to scare him into silence, but it seemed to achieve the opposite effect.
It wasn't.
Oh, crap, friends. Was it? I had to do that voice again.
You know, it's kind of why I'm outside.
A pause of several minutes followed.
I love cocaine and propane.
Amanda noted a prison tense.
If I was out, I'd do it more for sure. And I'm not. And I am violent on cocaine. Better than I'm in here. Maybe that's bad. Wait till I get on that there propane and say grill something up. It's gonna be a bad day for you, son bitch.
A long silence followed, and the prison routine interrupted their conversation. Later in the day, Harrison picked up where he left off.
Well, when I was 8 years old, my father, Dad wanted a daughter.
She gasped.
Well, I guess he figured he'd make me into one. His experiment worked for him, I guess.
Tears filled her eyes.
Oh, Harrison, I'm so sorry.
Her compassion reached out through the wall between them, but Harrison seemed very detached. Time passed before the next thought occurred to her. Amanda had to know.
Harrison? Where was your mother when that happened?
The man took his time, but answered matter-of-factly.
Oh, she was on board. I mean, she got it too. Well, she deserved the knife as much as he did. Yeah, she let my father have his fun. I guess she figured better me than her. Mom felt that she just stood out of the way, she'd be safe. She was wrong. Dead wrong.
Jeez.
Amanda struggled with the incomprehensible.
But she did not stand up for you, and you killed them both?
His only response was,
I got into drugs. I love cocaine and propane.
with a few words spoken, that retreat jumped out at her.
I know I'd kill again if I got high. Better that I'm in here.
Maybe he was similar. Or perhaps it was some kind of brain damage or from over-medication. He was castrated by his father when he was 8. The story would seem unbelievable. Who could understand such tortures? Of course, he descended into cocaine and violence. Who wouldn't? An object of titillation, the press dubbed Harrison Kern the eunuch. It drummed up interest in the trial, but it was long ago. Since then, most everyone had forgotten about Harrison. Yet here he was, counting the days.
I spent 5 years in prison for slashing some guy's eyes. Inside, I had time to think. All my problems came from my dad. I figured if I could dispose of him, and I figured my way back into a prison cell where the world would be protected from me. Mom was an afterthought. Now I wish for my own end. Amanda shot. Don't say that. But Harrison Kern's statement seemed reasoned, and he did not volunteer any more words. As the sunlight winked him out through the slit in the glass outside the row of cells, Amanda asked, How long have you been here? Harrison paused and said calmly, About 25 years.
Jeez.
Things were rough back in Texas that time, I tell you what.
Man, they're going with that hot and can't do it.
To another, and goddamn it, Bobby.
But you get on down, you just slap that little
and
slide
they're going to watch that boy. He go, woo! Man, that's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
That's all you got to do.
I don't know if it's that simple, Boomhauer.
I'm pretty sure he was working for the FBI.
Damn it, Dale, you don't think everybody's working for the FBI, including the mail guy.
Because they are.
That's right, Dale.
If you ain't careful, they're going to show up at your door too, Hank.
You just got no dang old eyes. We get that. You just slap that thing around just a couple times, and you get down deep there, and you don't have to worry about that no more.
Exactly what I've been saying, Boomhauer.
That's right.
All right, well, I think we better get this story, keep on rolling there. Get on to it, Diva.
Yeah, all right. The benefactor. Dr. Fidel Arian stared out his window, observing the tiny figures below, traversing the hospital grounds. The center diploma on his wall of degrees, slightly tilted at an angle. The doctor's face betrayed no emotion, but his heart hurt. Registered nurse Lena Campbell knocked on his office door.
Doctor, are you all right?
Yes, Miss Campbell. Do you need something?
Well, it's just, you've been really distracted lately, and I was, wondering if I could do anything for you.
Like whip them out.
Window.
Whip them out. Come on.
What? Why is he stirring in his deck?
No,
you know you're not supposed to look at your deck like that. You look at your deck and you should just rub that deck and get it nice and clean. Once your deck is clean, you can have anybody on your deck.
Show Rick James and titties, bitch.
Dr. Arian glanced at his deck, covered with his work. No, thank you. Lena moved closer to the doctor. She had untied the top of her smock. Sorry.
That Arabian voice is choking her up. Read me more Arabian.
Oh dear Lord. Oh dear Lord.
Oh, Harley Quinn for you.
It's
Jay. What can I do for you, bud?
Oh dear. She had untied the top of her smock, exposing a portion of her cleavage.
Oh, but Dr. Fidel, I mean, anything.
Her breathiness exposed her intent, but Dr. Arian turned away, back to the window overlooking the hospital's careful gardening. No, thank you, that will be all. Lena's face flushed, and she scurried away, gently closing the door behind her. Dr. Arian dropped behind his desk. In an uncharacteristic flash of anger, he swept the mounds of paper onto the floor with his arm. He gazed at the office telephone, calculating his next move, methodically dialing. The click indicated his call had been picked up. Phil Roy, I need your help. That hotshot appellate, attorney, and I said it wrong again. You know, I need him to take Amanda's case, whatever it takes.
Actually, you said it right.
Oh, did I say it right?
Yeah,
that
you did. You said it right that time.
You said it right that time.
Well, I guess that personality knows how to say it. I don't know. Rejection came hard for Lena Campbell. Her female attributes drew many, many, many men.
Just not gay men.
The other doctors in the hospital knew she could be relied upon when they felt they needed personal courtesy.
This was a good pumpkin spice down there.
She partook of their attentions when the powerful men amused her, but her whims were without reproductive consequence, as she made certain through pharmacological means. When Amanda got convicted, Lena stopped taking her pills, hoping that Fidel would take her. If she got lucky, one of his seeds would score. And if she could quit the hard nursing work, even better. She'd even quit the flings to ensure the father would be Fidel. But the Arab was ice. After all that she had suffered, her rival gone, and yet this Middle Eastern MD remained obsessed with a woman he could not ever possess. What drew him so strongly to Amanda? Lena resolved to have her revenge.
Bitch.
Bump, bump, bump.
Sweetheart has nothing to do with your attributes. He wants. I'm just saying.
Woman scorned. I like that Arabian.
Bet you do.
Like a horse.
I was going to say the horse or the person. I don't know. I mean,
look at the legs on that Arabian.
my little pony, my little pony.
The appellant. The holding cell contained blank walls, painted a drab government tan. The plastic chair dug into her back, like high heels. Batteries and jumper cables. No, the orange. That's where. Oh, orange rubbers slipped. Oh, orange rubbers slippers. Orange and rubbers. I mean, concealed, neglected. She got talons. Concealed, neglected talons in her previous life of comfort. The prison garb did not flatter her figure. But what purpose did vanity serve her? Serve here. She hated her life, or what was left of it. By now, after months of trial, and then a death sentence, she had all but given up. Rob steeled himself for the encounter. He had to protect himself from her, but he also had to do his best for his client. The tear inside cut his deepest wound. But he pushed his feelings. God damn, I can't read. But he pushed away his feelings. Be strong for her.
So strong.
I know.
So strong. Just be the wonderful man that you are.
Rubbery. Talons.
Smell
the door
of leather.
Open.
Old Spice.
The door opened, and Rod Spinnaker stepped in, dressed in a fitted Ralph Lauren suit. Rod could have posed for a business magazine on Success. She studied his dark, unkempt hair flopping carelessly about her appellate lawyer's eyes. The thin white scar gracing his face added a roughness to an otherwise curate portrait. His masculine stature conveyed a sense of confidence she had forgotten existed. Ron held out his hand, which she grasped lightly within the confines of her manacles. The strength and power behind Rod's grasp shook her. She involuntarily emitted a small gasp as she orgasmed and looked deeply into his pupils.
It's because she grasped his rod.
He just has that touch.
He grabbed Rod and held on tight.
Grabbed his rod and held on tight.
That's what it was, the rod. He hesitated a moment longer than she would expect for a professional, hired attorney. Quickly disengaging the touch, Rod looked down at his file of papers.
Amanda, I am your new appellate lawyer.
Her heart leapt. Did she really think that he could work miracles? Or was there something else? Yes, she wanted to see more of him, as much as she could take. Take it all.
So deep. So deep.
You have some worthy friends, he began, scratching at the thin white scar on his face. Sounds like he ran into Harry Potter.
That's what I thought. Exactly what I thought.
That little bastard, look what he did to me. Dr. Arian.
Fingernails.
Dr. Arian. She instantly intuited the identity of the financier. Rod spoke, perhaps without thinking.
The jealousy killer.
We're going... Whoa, what are we... Oh, he's still... Okay.
We are still... What are we going to do with you?
His attempt at levity fell flat. Jesus. The media imagery repulsed her, and Rod gave the impression to her that he believed all those evil press people.
I didn't kill my husband,
she shouted. But she immediately regretted the outburst. She knew that every defendant claimed that they were innocent. But she was telling the truth. Why would no one believe her?
Well, Amanda,
Spinnaker composed himself.
The problem is the jury of your peers has found you guilty. And, well, 8 out of 12 sentence you to death. At this point, I must go through the entire record and identify any errors that could get you in your trial.
Lawyers. They're all talk. She used to have faith in the criminal justice system. But there she was, on death row. And standing there before her was a part of the very system. Who's this?
Him.
It's him. Yeah.
Until I compel all the paperwork, there really isn't much you can say or do to help. From what Phil tells me, and from what I have been able to see of some of the internet trial streams. Our tube. Assholes. The trial became
no telling hacks.
a crazy affair. I'll do the best I can possibly do.
Okay, but all the evidence at trial, they lied.
Factual questions are not an appellate issue. Facts presented in trial are viewed by the appellate court in the light of the most favorable to the state. That means you could have 10 nuns testifying for you, and 1 convict testifying against you. And if the jury convicts, then we must believe the convict.
But that's terrible, she gasped, thinking of Birdie. Oh, the little pecker.
You mean there is no hope? I did not say that. The record may be filled with problems, but I will know the truth. Wait a minute. But I will not know until I review it completely.
Okay. She's so dejected. She looked down at his zipper. No, at his Zoe. She's just all kinds of horny in there.
For real.
Take me away from the man beast. He's gonna make me love him.
Say love is a subjective.
Very subjective in prison.
She doesn't even have to do gay for the stay.
She looked. I can't even.
Oh, bitch.
She looked down. Yeah. She looked down at his Zelly Roma crocodile leather shoes. Wow, that's a mouthful. That's what she said. The recent polish stood out against the bare walls and ugliness of the holding cell. Would he open up his feelings to her? Or was this guy just throwing around passing flirtations? What sort of a man was he? But she knew the personal... Wait a minute. Okay. But she knew the personal needed to give way to his paid duty. She followed his lead. What are my chances? His strong... Don't fight it.
It's only gonna pinch. The first little bit's only gonna pinch, and then just relax.
It makes it worse. His strong arched eyebrows furrowed together, framing the intelligent blue-gray eyes underneath. As if digging out a thought from his memory, Rod stated, I have to say it, but you got convicted in Florida. They love the death penalty here. The whole court is packed with execution lovers who could not give a hoot about who you or the fairness of your trial. Whatever. Seeing her astonishment and disbelief, he got specific. The chances of actually getting some kind of a meaningful remedy are about 1 in 300. But death sentences get mandatory review from the Florida Supreme Court. So you will at least get a written reason as to why you should be here. That can't be. She sat dumbfounded, momentarily forgetting her orange garb. If there's a way, I promise I will find it. He thought for a moment and added, Now, the chance of your getting executed are quite low. There is a lot of process between here and there. That did not seem to assuage her. Rod squirmed, feeling an inner voice urging him to drop the rotary attorney narrative. But his professionalism pushed back. To Amanda, the stunning statistics drained away all the questions she had thought to ask. The bite of silence descended on the room. So, Fidel hired you. She pretty much already knew, but wanted to keep the conversation going a bit longer. Dr. Adrian, yes. I can honestly say that my retainer is quite hefty. Frankly, I could barely lift it up to my wallet. All right, next to my brown eye. Frankly, I was going to do the case, most bonally.
Don't skip leg day, big boy.
I was going to come in hard charging, but then I received a call from your former employer and was able to extract quite a fee. He smiled. Why would he fund your appeal? Do you suppose?
She's a hot piece of... What?
Yeah. She thought about the question for a moment and answered. Because he believes in me. I'm innocent. Since they had just been reunited, she was not sure if she would tell Mr. Rod Spinnaker more than just that yet. She remembered her promise of honesty and added, and he wanted me. Rod went. I'm just picturing this in my head too. If you're a DeMilo and the pigtails sticking out.
Yes.
Yes. Rod wins. As she looked upon her appellate attorney, she found him hard. Hard to understand. She found him hard to understand. There was a mystery about him she could not quite place, and it unnerved her. Rod's powerful hand scratched the notes onto a pad. She noticed he wore no jewelry on his fingers. Another unmarried man. She glanced down and fingered herself.
Fingered the blade.
Knew that was coming.
Spicy.
And fingered that place where her golden
pearl.
What did
Wedding.
they call that? Whatever's the
Wedding
equivalent to
band.
Prince Albert.
Wedding
And
band.
fingered
This wedding
where
band.
her golden Prince Albert had previously resided. And they had to take it out when she went to jail. You know,
I'm on a boat.
that part ain't pretty. But Rod, when will you come back? The sharp sound of a chair moving back made her jump and brought her back to reality. I will be back once I've gone through the entire record. Rod Spinnaker got up to leave, standing to his full 6'2". And she could not help noticing a touch of athleticism in his movement. He's bendy. Her eyes captured subtle details of people, and this did not stop just because of her confinement. Mr. Spinnaker. She thought of something to make him stay a bit longer. Will the appellate court state you're the prosecutor's lies? Rod stood in the doorframe and slowly turned, his steely eyes looking through her. This is not an appellate issue. Rod instantly regretted the coldness of the goodbye. Rod froze and turned slowly. He gazed back resolutely. The confident eye contact melted her muscles. Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, but
And that ain't all.
I bet it is.
And she looked back pleadingly.
Squishy.
we call her puddles.
Yeah. Amanda, I promise never to lie to you. Are we doing this again? Amanda, I promise never to lie to you. I will never give you up. I will never let you down. I thought I sung this song to you before. I will do my best. Speaking of the words broke his resistance. Could he allow himself one weakness? Take me roughly in the barn, big boy. He stepped towards her deliberately. Wordlessly, with the back of his strong hand, Rod touched her face. He then leaned over, his cheek meeting hers. He whispered closely into her ear. I remember that touch. Rod broke the contact. She opened her eyes as the cell door clanked shut, and she broke down, sobbing.
What a bastard! What a bastard! What a bastard! Why would he do that to her? Just
Always.
left her hanging.
Always
Baby, come
leave
back.
them wanting more.
What the hell? It just froze up on me. I can't get it to
Did.
work. You broke it.
Oh no. Oh no.
Okay.
Shizzy, you're
Oh,
supposed
there
to
we
pay
go.
for the whole thing, not just a few pages.
Well, I had to leave it there, you know. Just like the end. Sorry. No,
Just
sorry.
like that little wanting bitch, Hermione Granger.
Rod whinnied softly. I don't know if it was Rod was whinnying. It was more like he just like on the table. You know? Whinnying.
I'm just gonna take some pills.
Your lawyer is Mr. Ed.
Puddletown, I see that. I can't read that, what I'm reading. 2 packs of Pall Malls and a bottle of whiskey a day.
Yeah.
You
two- currency.
You two can have a
Currency.
voice like this. No.
Oh.
All right. What do you say?
A drunken character voice. I
Yes.
was what? No, I've had people say that every once in a while, and I have no idea how I do it. But every once in a while, they'll be like, "Oh my God, that sounded just like Jack Sparrow." How? I don't know how I do it. The voices just come out. It's
Because it left
Yeah.
it grumpy on the bed.
Yeah.
I left the grumpy on the bed and just
Hey,
walked
Grandma's
away.
quilt. Amber's coming home.
It's too bad the quilt had holes in it.
She ruined a perfectly good bottle of rum, and now it is gone.
You wouldn't believe what she did with that bottle of rum.
Ew.
You don't want to know, honestly. All right, the work.
Mm-hmm.
As agreed early on, Phil and Josephine Roy handled the case off to Rod Spinnaker, the miracle worker, or so he claimed, having done their best at trial against the evil powers against them. They were out. He was in. I'm telling you, they were out. He was in. There were no longer reviews. He was the man in charge. It was that simple, y'all.
Oh, I'm more out and in.
Criminal practice contained a clear dividing line between trial and appellate law. With about 98% of lawyers on the criminal side, Spinnaker developed his skills in the courtroom, but his intellect eventually drew him to appellate practice. Rod anticipated the file. Come on, Gosney, could this be more spot on? Anyway.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. The record came in at over 10,000 pages.
How many pages?
10,000. It was a lot of pages, y'all.
There's a lot of pages, y'all.
Reading. It was like something that just came out of Congress.
That's a lot of wood.
The motions, the hearings, the jury selection, the trial transcribed for his review. First, he would master the record. Then he would have to master his baiting skills. Little chunks of progress, punctuating long bouts of conversation during the read-through. Issues that could either be of appellate value would be noted. See, it's pronounced appellate. And the brief would grow. Oh, it would grow. It would grow to heights beyond all I've ever seen.
It's so large.
So large. So big. In a death penalty direct appeal, the lawyer would raise general attacks to the death penalty. Those issues arose in all cases, not just some, not just part, but all cases. To be the envelope pusher in the death penalty. No other civilized country loved the death penalty as much as the United States, and God bless it for that. And no other state loved the death penalty as much as Florida, where all the criminals go. His state stood as an outlier among all outliers. That gave Rod purpose in even the most heinous cases of murder, where he would draft an appeal. He was going to be the one. He was going to break the system. He was going to be like Moses up on that hill. Yes, he was.
Throw that staff.
The rod and the staff. It's my favorite part. The framework began with those general attacks. Florida's death penalty statute was unconstitutional because it failed to narrow the class eligible for the ultimate sanction, death, as required under the Furman and Gregg cases. Cut and paste. The CCP aggravator is overboard. Cut and paste. The EHAC aggravator is overbroad. Cut and paste. Then he got into specifics. Cut and paste. He must find the key, playing Tangerine Dream's encore album in the background. course, I'm sure he also played it backwards. He got to work. TD's Virgin Period was the best music to labor to. Oh dear. Because it contained no lyrics and a hypnotic rhythm. Sounds like a whole bunch of sinning to me.
Yeah.
The smell of dust arose from the computer spinning fan. Rod Spinnaker, who evidently didn't know how to use a damn vacuum or a dust mop, could not believe the record in Amanda's case. Errors riddled the guilt phase of the trial. Serious errors, appellate errors, sinning errors.
Errors to break the bank.
Rod noticed that the jury recommended death by a vote of 8 for and 4 against. That's right. 8 of them said you need to go to death, and 4 of them said not so fast. In response to the Parkland High School shootings by Nicholas Cruz, Florida changed the jury death finding from unanimous to 8-4. This directly contradicted Rams versus Louisiana issue, whatever that means. The closing arguments contain practically every error that could be made by a prosecutor. Rod accessed a saved article, Trial Techniques for a Florida Prosecutor, a positive prescription for ethical closing arguments. The guidebook laid out the framework for the issue. Phil preserved each outrageous statement with a precise and timely objective. Excellent. Phil had done great. He had done his job, except for the one job he had, which was clear his client. Then he looked at the discovery shenanigans by the state. The prosecutors ignored the holdings of Richardson, Brady, and even Gigolo. Gigolo? Giglio?
Do that,
whatever.
Gigolo.
Gigolo.
You know there was a lot of sinning going on there. In that
There's a
case.
gigolo involved. There was some sinning.
He was just a gigolo, and people always
And
know.
everywhere it goes.
Everywhere he
People
goes,
know
people know
hard
the he's playing. Pay for every dance.
Yes.
Anyway, it's stung to see people pay to uphold the law instead of flaunting it for personal. Really?
That's one of your words.
Use your words. Use your words.
Yes,
Which
sir.
argument first? He moved the disclosure issues to the top, then the closing arguments, then the general attacks. The man was on fire. Rod needed space. Rod needed space. He was getting too excited, if you know what I mean. The court enforced a word limit of 25,000 words, and Amanda's trial needed more. It needed more. He needed more room. He needed to breathe. He needed to grow. He needed to be able to work, people. He needed to work.
Wang it around. Wiggle it.
Perhaps he should argue that the strict page and time constraints were unconstitutional, but not this case. Oh, no, sir. Rod deleted the more progressive argument that Florida's death penalty constituted cruel and unusual punishment. Although the first stop in the appeal would be the Supreme Court of Florida, the argument would not prove an originalist, the Supreme Court of the United States, his real target for persuasion. The governor selected pro-death politics for Florida's incoming justices. Now he had room to work. His fingers flew across the keyboard, framing issue after issue. He promised. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Hallelujah.
He promised he would do his best. He promised to the white man up high that he would do his best. For Amanda.
Only Amanda. Oh, he's just got it so hard for her.
And the congregation said,
Amen.
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 Yes.
Hallelujah.
won't you come see me in my office, young lady?
And his opening words. There will be no foolish wand waving or incantations in this class. Direct your attention to the appellate court.
Yes, darling. Okay. Days later, inmate number 161916 found a thick envelope in cell A4, her new home. She recognized it as jail mail from her very own Rod Spinnaker. It was emotion.
Oh, Rod.
The content.
What was he motioning?
Oh, it was the ocean. It was the
Was it the
motion.
back and forth or the up and down?
Got her moving. She got her grinding, got her nice and dribblingly wet, and the state had been eavesdropping on her a client attorney talks in the jail. Oh, those implications swirled around in her mind. Everything she said with her trial counsel had been recorded. What had she said to Phil and Josephine? Did they listen to everything? That means the prosecutor knew of all their plans for trial. Well, she had no remaining trust in that system. It was just drained away from her like a wet sock just pulled out. The envelope contained more. It was a draft Aute order. Rod, that manly man of meat, asked the court to order the prison to allow attorney meetings in a breakout room without cameras or audio. And that there would solve that eavesdropping problem and present Amanda with some interesting opportunity.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to continue on just because that was really short, just like Rod is not.
Yeah, you go
Rod
right ahead, Shizzy.
Spinnaker. Rod Spinnaker, he smelled of intoxicating polo aftershave. Rod had fixed his hair. He wore a less formal camel cashmere sweater over his pressed shirt and silk tie. And he was anticipating his visit. Her means of self-improvement were vastly limited, so she got out that perfume smoke and watched all of her nether regions. She resorted to pinching her cute little cheeks. Not these, but those.
Oh
and
my.
biting her lips.
My.
She was biting her lips. She was wishing that he would bite her lips to add color to her complexion. Amanda resolved not to trouble Rod with her problems on the inside. Deep inside. It would burden him, and there was nothing he could do to warm up that little hot potato she had warming up. The meeting began rather formally. Rod went over her appeal, discussing points she only vaguely comprehended. Only an occasional word got through as she gazed at the striking man before her. She heard some non-disclosure, improper closing of her legs argument, withholding of Brady. I never withhold against Brady because I'm just lonely. But Amanda just soaked in the time she had with his brilliant mind. Amanda, are you paying attention? She woke up from the dream.
Yes, non-disclosure.
You see, Dr. Grassley's testimony amounted to the introduction of an admission by you which the state had to disclose to the defense during discovery. You see, we should get a new trial out of this. Amanda, she nodded in excitement. Deep down, so deep down, she gave up caring. She only wanted the meeting to go on longer, the longest possible, and she smiled sensually, just thinking about how long that meeting should go on. See, we
Knock them cobwebs loose.
I say, it sounds like you bunch of reprobates need to have a bucket of water dumped on you.
See, we will argue that the trial court erred in failing to conduct the Richardson hearing to address the defense's claim with the admission entered through Dr. Glass's testimony constituted a discovery violation. And she was not turned on by this discussion at all because it didn't do anything to wet her whistle.
Right?
She interrupted.
Really care, don't you?
You really care.
The question shook him out of his intense focus on his findings. Rod thought about his promise to Amanda. I do. A soft, tender moment lingered between them. A breathy gaze exchanged between
There's a
two
pill for
lonely
that.
souls locked away from the world. Rod looked around, wondering if ears invaded her privacy. Rod whispered, "You're all my prize."
You're my prize.
You are my prize.
That could have had so much.
Have a church-going talk there. I do say that we have some issues we need to discuss there at the next meeting at the seminary.
What a thing to yell. You my prize.
You're my prize, woman.
For all y'all here for the Sunday potluck dinner, that's the next door over. My apologies.
Listen, can we just go ahead and say that this guy does not have the greatest taste in women? I mean, he's literally looking for a pickup at a prison.
Well,
Hey,
you know where to find her. Yeah, you know where she's.
And they can't run away. So.
Exactly.
Let's put it this way: she can't give you the wrong number.
Yeah.
She's always where she says she is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of
I mean,
hard to ghost them there.
That's the kind of trust you just can't find in a relationship.
just
Come on.
can't. Yeah.
Exactly, and it even comes with your own bondage material.
Somehow I have a feeling that's not really going to be.
Oh dear.
I don't know.
Oh dear.
Excuse me, God. Mind if I borrow those? Thanks.
Oh, wow.
Do you have another pair?
We're gonna handcuff ourselves
on
across
this
the room
conversation
to
right
each
now,
other.
going, I can't help any of you. You know how some sins are forgivable? Yeah, not here. Sorry.
We're going to hell, ain't we? Oh dear.
Express elevator.
Oh God. Oh.
Oh, I suppose this is my my bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it starts out with
Lord.
open.
Open.
Hey. The offer. Open. The warden wants you in his office. Officer Dickerson and Officer Cruz hovered outside her cage. Dickerson looked at her sad state and shook his head. My Miss Amanda, you need to take care of yourself. Amanda wondered how such a feat could be accomplished. The warden's office meant she had to go through the other cell block, but at least Officer Dickerson escorted her, and not Tully. Problems followed the black badge, problems Amanda would prefer to avoid. The two officers paraded Amanda Smallwood through the newer wing to get to the warden's office. A gauntlet of howling prisoners lined the cells to her right. The smell of male sweat stung her.
Ew.
The clanging of shaking prison bars resonated off the peeling paint. Oh, baby!
Sweat.
The shouts mocked.
Musty smell.
No matter.
It's better than my karate right
They were
there.
no better.
I can just imagine it in my pores.
I'm so lonely right now.
You all are so not
baby.
right. You're so not right.
All I can hear, "Ooh, baby, baby." I just keep picturing that little mini skirt with Britney Spears just dancing around going, "Ooh, baby, baby."
Does she have knives?
I'm starting to remember Friday night.
Oh God.
So is this like original Britney or modern 2024 Britney? Because one of those has knives and I'm not down.
Take your pick.
Take your
One's
pick.
crazy
They're
as the
both
other.
fun. Yeah,
At least one
they're
that
both
was
fun.
on meds.
Yeah, it all comes out the same.
The shouts mocked. No matter, they were no better. Being in prison brought one closer to humanity's primal nature. They neared the end of the row.
Officer Cruz spoke a familiar word. Open! Maybe no. Man, in the end, the cell screamed. Officer Cruz struck out with his baton at the man, clanking against the bars. Enjoy your 30 days of neutral loaf. The inmate forced out a maniacal laugh, and the cell block erupted with turmoil. Close! On the other side of the steel door, a friendly guard, Jeremiah Dickerson, consoled her. I'm sorry, Miss Amanda. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry, Miss Amanda. Amanda appreciated his kindness. Most of the other guards treated her with professionalism, but J.D. tinged with his compassion. Same as the last meeting, Warden Kurt Frank wore a white shirt and a tightly knotted black tie. Black slacks form-fitted his legs and posterior, quite flatteringly, admitted. The man clearly worked out.
Show your
The
ass!
large office was as she had remembered. Same paneling, same desk, same everything.
When she just described someone from Geek Squad.
Yeah, I know, right?
Ooh. White shirt, slightly knotted black tie, black slacks.
Showing
Turn
off
it
their ass.
off.
Showing off their ass. Yeah.
Turn
Showing
it
off
back
her ass.
on.
The warden spoke.
I've been working on my PhD.
He patted the tall stack of papers in the corner of his desk.
I intend to move on to a teaching position at University of Florida. Of course, you've heard of it, right?
Of course.
All my degrees are from there. Good or proud, as they say.
Boo!
Damn you, Elmo. She listened intently to the man. She was a long way from suburbia. The thought amused her.
You know, I've been observing you.
Warden Frank let his eyes meander.
You can't keep secrets, right?
She nodded her head, curiosity piqued.
It is strictly against rules, but my thesis requires some insights into psychology of the inmates on death row. You see, in my position, it's unethical to use prisoners for such experiments. Ever read Acres of Skin?
Oh, Jesus!
I think I should read that almost in Gollum voice.
You just don't tell nobody. We'll keep it our little secret.
She shook her head.
No, of course you haven't. You see, the academic types place strict rules on researchers. They don't believe prisoners can consent.
She guffawed involuntarily at the absurdity of consent on death row. That is a joke.
I fully agree.
Warden Frank stood up and moved around the desk, stepping deliberately behind her seat. She felt his strong hands on her shoulders.
I can help people in your situation.
Creepy Elmo.
Yes, thank you for realizing why I chose Elmo for this choice. Yeah, how? Amanda surprised herself with her directness. This place had changed her. Honesty becomes easy when you have nothing to lose.
My ways are many.
Amanda sat passively under the warden's grip.
Consider carefully. Being on my bad side has consequences also.
Jesus.
Yeah, just remember what happened to Cookie Monster. I sent him down to the general. Tin Pop. Yeah, he didn't last long down there.
Because I never heard that before.
Also, Amanda could not imagine how her situation could grow worse. A 10-foot by 10-foot cell, slop for food, 1 hour of exercise a day, never-ending boredom.
But you will consider my offer.
Yes, Warden. Amanda Smallwood, prisoner number 161916, left the sprawling office. Kurt Frank turned to his hospitality cart and poured a snifter of J&B scotch.
Let's see if she can keep a secret.
He thought, placing the screw top. Amanda spoke to no one about the warden's words.
Yeah, I can picture in my mind the whole time Elmo being the little creeper that he is.
You just imagine like
Putting
suddenly
his
they go into
hands
the
on her
office
shoulder
and
and
His little red furry hands on her shoulder, and he's like, I've
yeah.
got a proposition for you.
Yes.
Yes.
You like my tight
Schooner,
jeans?
schooner, schooner.
You're gonna give Elmo the hug too, you know what I'm saying?
Kitty Kate loves Elmo.
Oh my god.
Creepy Elmo.
Jesus,
If you're going to crank, mute your mic. Oh, Lefty doesn't want to hear it.
Oh,
I'm here to share.
Schooner.
Just here to share. Schooner.
Pickle me, Elmo.
Pickle me, Elmo.
Yeah, that's the Elmo that's stuffed in a jar, you know.
Some bodily fluids are very acidic, so you know it
After having his hand, somebody's hand up his ass for years, Elmo has no feeling anymore.
Oh, dear.
It's like throwing a hot dog down a highway.
Like flying an air glider through the Grand Canyon.
We're just taking Jeff Bezos' rocket into outer space.
Meat Cookie Monster out of it.
Possibilities are endless.
Oh. Anyway, meanwhile, back at the ranch.
The Apprentice. Another workday in Florida State Prison. The monotony weighed on Kurt Frank's mind. The warden looked longingly at his refuge, the rickety cot filled with his favorite intoxicants. I shouldn't, came the voice. But the reports flickered from his computer monitor, demanding bureaucratic attention. Okay, just one. What was that noise?
What the hell was that?
It wasn't me.
What?
You can't see my hands, but I
It's
got them up. My desk is still rising.
I need to check on that 3D printer, Shizzy. Jesus.
No, it literally was this.
No.
The straight liquor
Sure it
burned
was.
his
It's not making that noise now. Just saying.
Stop it! Stop it!
What happened?
Damn it, Shizzy.
That was me moving my microphone like this.
I'm sure you were.
Yeah, it's not making that noise now, Shiz. I'm just saying.
Of course you were.
Just bastards.
Yes.
I need a little oil.
Might need some lubrication on that, don't I?
I know it does. It needs a little lubrication right up in the little button up here.
The straight liquor burned his tongue, but the effect took hold. The paneled walls receded, and the self-aggrandizing display gained clarity. Each picture glowed with a shiny golden aura. A poster of the University of Florida national champion football
Boo!
graced a paneled wall. Underneath, a signed orange and blue Rydell. Warden Frank poured his scotch and paced in the windowless office, stopping occasionally at his poster. His finger traced the team roster. Tim Tebow, front and center. That man could play, he thought. The warden's pointer continued down the list. There it was. Kurt Frank, kicker. The words always uplifted his spirit. Gator Nation.
Oh.
The chit played well with the prison officials. Such connections dropped at the appropriate promotional moment could do wonders. No need to qualify the story. A second string bench guy earned the ring with the rest. There, the photo of the full uniformed Warden Frank shaking hands with Governor Ron DeSantis. How much had he paid for that photo? It did not matter. The image achieved the desired effect on visitors to his symboled alcove. There, underneath, a letter from the Attorney General commending.
Sorry.
It's the expert? I mean, come on.
I feel like the expert tonight. You're talking about Florida. I mean, come on. Just like.
I want to hear her say Gator again.
Gator. There, underneath, a letter from the Attorney General commending his service as warden, also signed by the governor, and there, next to it, hung an award for institutional efficiency from the Department of Corrections. He passed by his master's degree from the University of Central Florida. The state paid for that degree 100%. He got the MS on the job through a string of online criminal justice classes. By that time, additional paper had lost its luster. He stopped in front of his most recent plaque. Kurt Frank, president of the National Association of Death Row Officials. Formed in 1972 to push back against the Bleeding Hearts and the Furman versus Georgia case, the group could be considered exclusive. The organization was originally called the National Association of Executioners.
See, that's cooler.
That is much better.
It is. But political types suggested the name carried a slightly negative connotation. I can't imagine why. They changed it a few years back, but relabeling it did not seem to help with membership. As they struggled to widen their support, the hired lobbyists collected their fees with not much to show for the cash. He remembered reading their monthly newsletter, The Executioner.
It's cool. I want that in my email.
I'm telling you, I want to get daily reports from the executioner. Jeez.
Yeah.
The executioner reporting about Oklahoma suspending their death penalty due to the Glossip case. He remembered a recent study in an academic journal showed no impact on crime statistics from the suspension. Didn't matter, Kurt thought dismissively. Vengeance gave their side powerful emotional support. Kurt hoped that a PhD would soon join the collection. Then he could escape the paneled room, just like every other escape room he'd ever tried to get out of. Escape to the ivory towers of academia. He'd trade tattered inmates for fresh, young student faces, bright minds hungry for the knowledge he could insert. The warden downed another glass, numbing his senses. Piled in cardboard boxes were other, less glamorous symbols of Kirk Frank's connections. A blue key plaque, his Pi Kappa Alpha membership certificate, his third place marathon ribbon. The dust gathered. Kurt Frank considered Officer Tully, the black badge. A bad cop served an important purpose in a place like this. Tully had guts, but not brains. He would always be a servant. But the lure of power kept Tully subservient. Tully did what he was told, and that served him quite well. His lapdog obeyed.
Oh, yeah.
The messes, someone else would clean them up. After Kurt Frank got his sweet teaching gig, deviances of the black badge was the next warden's problem, not his. The warden wobbled. His hand gripped an empty tumbler. Just one more to ease the pain.
Oh, the pain. Hey, Steve, how you doing? Good to see you.
Yeah.
Nice to see you.
Yeah. Steve is
so
Steve
sorry.
is hanging out.
Steve, we need to talk about all this Florida Gator stuff.
Oh,
Hey,
my
Jake.
God. This MG, how's it going?
MG, sweet.
Yeah, I have to apologize because I am kind of responsible for this show. Not this particular episode, but the show in general.
Yeah, well, I won't force you to take that blame. Man, let's see. You know who time it is. Huh? What?
You want me to keep going? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. The chaplain. Death row chaplain Paul Wojla, known by the condemned as Brother Paul, left the gates of Florida State Prison. Brother Paul made his money as a Wall Street finance lawyer. But now, like every day, Brother Paul visited Florida's death row. This day was like any other. Amanda Smallwood listened to the message she did not know she needed. Perhaps he brought something that made her day better. Paul tried to find a way to keep her spirits up, to focus on the things in life that were good and really matter, things to keep her world bigger than a suffocating prison cell. Every day the bars clinked. Brother Paul traversed the maze of 8 portals leading to and from death row. With the time he had between cells, he prayed for his predecessor. The priest before him gave up. The priest witnessed 4 electrocutions. During the last one in 1997, Old Sparky caught fire. As a primitive wooden chair gripped a convict in place, flame shot 3 feet out of the condemned man's hood, screams shaking the spectators. The priest had been an incredibly spiritual man, but after that experience, his health broke. He told the bishops, "I can't do this anymore." Brother Paul never witnessed an electrocution, thank God. Since the botched electric job, Florida embraced a new suitor, lethal injection. Paul watched helplessly as his state injected over 20 men with a toxic cocktail, men that he had prayed with, men that he knew. Some denied God existed. Some did not want him around at all. Others wept like babies in his outstretched hands, pleading for a scrap of hope. Some even took baptism and Eucharist and consoled themselves with the thought of meeting Jesus, the one who took their mortal sins on his own. All were the same. Each died at the hand of a faceless Florida executioner. Brother Paul remembered one that almost drove him to madness. He watched in horror as Angel Lopez writhed in pain during his execution. The botched lethal injection lasted over half an hour. Angel shrieked inhumane sounds from horrific chemical burns. His skin turned black. The outer layers of his flesh tore away during his struggle, exposing a pink and white dermis. Brother Paul shivered. His duty remained. Consoling himself, he forced his mind to remember something positive. He'd had guys hung him in death. Wait a minute. I read that wrong.
Young what?
Yeah.
What is coming? What did he do?
Start going on a different. He was hung in the workout. No. He'd had guys hug him in the death house and say, "You're the father that I never had," or "You're the brother I never had." One inmate confined, "If I had a friend like you on the other side, I would never have come here." Those moments drove him. Those words gave him purpose. A tear fell from the Catholic lay minister's face. When death row's newest resident entered his space, she seemed hopeless. "Bless you, Sister Amanda. Let's pray together," he said. "Your life has purpose. Schooner, all life has value."
Arg!
"Even in here?" she questioned. "Aye, even in here." She seemed skeptical, but accepted the body of Christ. She told him it had been years, but her late husband, Butch, refused to go to Mass, and she followed his lead. Maybe today mattered. Brother Paul followed God's call.
All right.
I think I did justice.
As he said, this is not exactly the reaction I was looking for in this chapter.
Yeah.
Check your email, guys.
Well, it was getting a little too heavy.
It was getting a little heavy.
Oh, it's gonna get heavier.
Yeah, Steve,
Oh,
Steve said we
yeah.
got to read this.
Oh,
this
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's why. I'm sorry, Steve, but the visit from Brother Paul came and went. Amanda deemed any time at the first cell worthwhile, and she entertained the kind man's words, even offering the gift of her sins. That night, clouds extinguished the silver of moonlight from the tiny grated window high above. A howling wind outside could barely be perceived within the secured block. The power flickered, the storm raged, pitch blackness descended. She then felt the presence. 3 children.
Hello?
A child's giggle. What do you want?
Nothing, silly. What do you want?
Who are you?
This is Manny. That's Elizabeth. And I'm Althea. You don't have much time.
What do you mean? I have the rest of my life here. If they don't kill me first.
That's what they all say. But everyone dies. Just look at us.
You sound like that rabbit.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
A cloud of bluish lightning flashed through the high window. The light revealed emptiness. Thunder shook the walls, and Amanda cowered in fear. Harrison spoke to her the next morning.
I heard you talking to yourself last night.
I felt the children in my cell. They spoke.
Don't let this place take your mind. Without that, you have no choice. All you will be is their animal. Then it's truly over.
Harrison consoled. What choice do I have? They've taken everything.
Not everything. Not your mind. Not your choice. And not your birth.
Her friend seemed wiser and more centered. She scoffed, but the words stung. Harrison did not speak again as his carton of pudding pops had arrived.
It is 2 hours in. We're 263 out of 305. You know
We're
what
almost
that
there.
means?
Ooh, so close.
Getting there.
We're so close,
bro.
So close.
So
So close, bro.
But yeah, this is where we'll end it for the night. We've hit that 2 hour mark, and man, it's just it's awesome. Steve Gosney's like, jeez. Oh, you've missed all of it because we've been doing this all night long. And you come back next week and you'll see it. You'll see it all over again.
Come back.
yeah.
Yes, you have to come back. Having Steve is the writer of this book. Everybody, you know, his links are there. He's got a Rumble channel, and you know, keep Steve in your prayers with all the shenanigans that Miami's pulling on him, because it ain't cool, you know, Steve. But I think Steve's going to come out of this much better than he expects. So that's what we hope for Steve, guys. Just to come out much better than where he was originally.
Steve, that's the best compliment you could give us.
Goofball.
Good night, you goofballs.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you,
That's pretty much
Steve.
par for the course for us. So, we
Yes.
love you, Steve, and we love your book, and we're trying to do it justice our own weird way.
Yes.
Yes.
So yeah, we will be kicking this thing out. Be kicking this out of here. What do you got coming up, Kaiser? You have come.
Well, I mean, I've got the news that you guys need to know. Specifically, everybody's kind of wondering, how did The Crow fare at the box office over this weekend?
Yeah.
Well, we'll have some information on that. A little bit of other stuff regarding the expert's favorite movie, the Roadhouse remake. There's some interesting tidbits there and plenty more coming down the pipe. Is it possible that we're seeing the end of the Kennedy Lucasfilm era? Because something strange is happening. They're clearing the slate of all future Star Wars projects.
Ooh.
Oh,
Nice.
I've got more, and you can see that this week over on my channel, Kaiser Pineapple. I cover all the entertainment news and information that keeps you in the know. So, linkies.
What do you guys have going on, Diva at Volstorm?
Oh, we might do a rave. We might actually do a show on Caliber and Character. Don't know when.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. We've got like topics. So, and I'm champing at the bit to talk about stuff.
Champing? Is it champing or is it chomping?
It is champing.
She used the proper diction on that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Champing. Chomping.
Because she is dictionary diva, so why wouldn't she use the proper diction?
Yeah. And I've got something
She
that
can't say applet, right? But
nope, can't say that right. I want to say apple. Apple.
A pellet.
Applejack.
I was on the Applehead Trail once. It was a lonely, dark.
It was a dark and stormy night.
Dark, stormy night on the Applehead Trail. Oh my God. Yeah. And so what about you? I have a story. Sorry.
Well, we'll do some more lives potentially, and then I'm trying to schedule it for like Saturday night, late Saturday night.
That was
10,
really
11
good.
Eastern Standard Time, and then just go over some stories as I'm doing a recording. Kind of gives some people a behind the scenes idea of what goes on with that. And we have to finish the one story, so because it's a little bit longer. But yeah. Other than that,
Well,
just
and
hanging
you
out.
guys know me. I do every morning really early, and then I do something at night. Just if you're you probably already subbed to me. So if you're watching this, then you probably already subbed to me. Come by and hang out and have some fun. The good news is we don't have any more like, unless like an ex-president gets shot at again, we don't really have anything going at,
Let's not do that.
Let's not do that again.
Let's not do that.
That was not fun.
No.
That was not the fun the first go around, but
I can't go kayaking when these things happen.
I know that was not a good idea. You went kayaking on the day that they
Yeah.
but at least you'll know where you were that day.
Yeah.
Never forget it.
Clearly say that.
Yeah.
But,
Oh my gosh. But yeah, so that's what we got going on. Make sure that you guys have subbed up to all these fine people and go check out their stuff and make sure you've got the little bell dinging. Oh,
Chizzy.
and tomorrow
night we're doing our Derailed stream live from Caliber and Character. So be sure you're subscribed.
Ooh.
Yes. Tomorrow. That's awesome. I'm glad somebody took up the mantle on that one. Yes. Derailed stream will be tomorrow night on Caliber and Character. So if you're not subbed to them, well, then you're just messing up. That is going to be fun. That's going to have the expert, MG Law, Ballstorm, and Bahalo Waits, and probably me. I should be there too, unless something happens. I doubt it will, but everybody have a wonderful evening. We will see you guys on the peace.
Bye.
cheesy waste not leading the way. We'll laugh and we'll smile for night and day. Sunday Spice, the show of delight, written by I and all the voices that night. From dictionary